Hi, I'm Brother LD Azobra, formerly named Lyman White Jr. This is a message to Derrius Guice, a young man I met years ago who I have disconnected with up to this point in time. I'm doing this message in hopes of connecting back with Derrius to encourage him to get help. When Derrius was a young man, probably around 10, 11 years old, maybe 11 years old, that's when I first met him. He and my son happened to play on the same football team, what they call Little League football team, called South Baton Rouge Jaguars. And we all knew then that Derrius was something special. He really was. He was a fine young man, hard working. He outworked everybody on the field. He didn't quit. Plenty of energy, life, a lot of life in him. Just very engaging, a lot of fun. And one day I was talking with him. I asked him, had he ever visited LSU? Because we basically felt that Derrius was going to be going to the next level. And I wanted to find out, did he ever visit LSU? Have anybody at LSU ever contacted him? But he was really young, so I figured nobody had contacted him. But I just wanted to make sure of that night when I was talking with him. So as we was talking, and I'm asking him, has he ever visited LSU? He told me no. And I thought about it. I said, well, I'm going to go talk to the coach. The coach at that time was Coach Q. And I had a conversation with Coach Q about possibly bringing the players, the whole football team, to visit LSU. And Coach Q was excited about it. He thought it was a great idea. And we lined up something, and we decided we was going to bring them over there. So I contacted Brotha Josberry and Coach Sam Nader, and they invited us over, and we brought the boys over there one day, and the boys had a great time. They had an awesome time, to be honest with you. They got a chance to visit the LSU football facility, the indoor facility, which had just been built a few years before, I would guess. And so they was all impressed with that. It was a great time. We all had a wonderful time at LSU. And thanks to Brotha Josberry and Coach Sam Nader for that. From there, things exploded for him. A lot of great things started happening for him. So I like to be one of the ones to encourage you to find help. That way that if you find help, you can find yourself. And that's the most important thing in life, being able to find yourself. Many have been affected, hurt, and harmed because of your actions and inactions. So now it's time that we all learn that you got to accept responsibilities for your actions. That's just the way it got to go. You got to accept responsibilities where you can move forward and others can move forward. Because people are willing to forgive. Now, it's hard to forget sometimes, we understand that, but people are willing to forgive once you accept responsibilities. And we all come to that place in life where we got to accept responsibilities. I believe a lot of people that are hurting because of your actions, but also I believe you are hurting as well. So I'm reaching out to you in hopes of that you understand that we are here to help. I'm here to help. And we quickly learn in this life that we got to accept responsibilities for our actions. And I personally know what you're going through. I remember when you was a sophomore or junior at Catholic High School. You came by my office one day to talk to me. And you shared with me that day that you did not want to play at Catholic High anymore. You want to go to McKinley High. Because that's where you grew up at, in the neighborhood, and that's the school you have always known and respected and admired. You want to be one of the big blue machines. You wanted to play for the McKinley Panthers. And I told you, let me check on that for you, and I'm going to get back with you. And I did. I went and talked to a few coaches, principals, to see what everybody had to say and what they thought about that. And after my conversation with several people, I advised you to stay at Catholic High, because it was to your best interest and benefit to stay at Catholic High, and you did. Now I do know that cause a lot of stress, anxiety, and everything else in your life. Because unfortunately, you had no father to go to because your father was deceased at the time. Many people don't know that your father died of a very violent death through gun violence. So as a young man, you making decisions for yourself. You figuring out, Cali is okay, but I want to be where I want to be. And you had to go through a lot. And you had an uncle. I know you had an uncle that was real close to you, that looked out for you. And you had the coaches looking out for you. I mean, coaches that you grew up around. But it was still tough for you. It was really tough. And I remember that time, because when I told you I thought it best that you stayed there, you weren't pleased with that. But I was just advising you as best I knew, because of the situation that you was in and the people I had spoken with. That's what they told me. Now I'd like to speak to my LSU family, the LSU nation. I just want to say, LSU, we can do better than this. We can do better than this. Just like when I went through my ordeal several years ago, 15 years ago or more. I was in prison. I was put away from my family, from my children for several years. And I came back home. When I came back home, the Tiger Nation was there for me. Y'all received me, y'all accepted me, y'all brought me back into the fold. And I have felt welcome back ever since. And I thank you and I appreciate that. And what you did for me, words cannot explain. But players, Tigers, friends, loved ones, we know we got a brother who's hurting. We got a teammate that's hurting. And players, what we normally do when we're on the field or on the court, and we have a brother or sister that's been injured or that is in pain, that is why we take a knee. That is why we kneel. Many of us, when we kneel down, when some brother or sister is on the court or field and they're in pain, we kneel down just to say a quick prayer. Let the brother or sister be okay. And many just hope they can get up and walk to the sideline on their own power and strength. This morning I was listening to morning news. And Oprah Winfrey was on the news this morning. And that's one of the reasons why I decided to do this, just to reach out to Derrius. Oprah and Dr. Bruce Perry was on. They co-authored a book together. The title of that book is What Happened to You? The book talks about childhood trauma and how it affects one's life as they grow into their manhood or womanhood. And we know many of us has been affected by childhood trauma in so many different ways. But we do know we don't strip someone of their stripes. What is a tiger without his stripes? And right now, my brothers and sisters, we have a brother who's in pain. We have a brother who has been injured. And we all need to reach out as best we could to uplift and bring hope and healing to a brother. But at this time, I'd also like to ask and reach out to some other Tigers. People like Leonard Fournette, who played with you, Derrius. Tyrann Matthews, the Honey Badger. Jeremy Hill, people who went through some things. Jordan Jefferson, Devon Gottschalks. Y'all contact me because we got a Tiger who needs help. I can be reached at LD Azobra at passtheballnow.org. Please reach out to me in hopes of working together to help our brother, because we are our brother's keeper. I'm asking the Tiger Nation, don't let Derrius Guice be a statistic. Yes, like Oprah said in her book, let's not ask what's wrong with Derrius Guice. Let's ask what happened to Derrius Guice during his childhood that it affected him to this day. So let's reach out to help Derrius through his ordeal in hopes we can help the others who was affected by his actions and inactions through their ordeal. It's amazing. One wrong move, one wrong decision can affect a whole lot of people. And of course, right now, a lot of people have been affected by your action, Derrius. So we're reaching out to you, reaching out to LSU. Let all of us do the right thing. We got a young man, 23 years old, who's hurting. I read this quote some time ago, says, easier to be a child than to repair a broken man. So let's build this young man into his manhood. Yes, he made a few mistakes, some serious mistakes. Let's let him pay the price for whatever price needs to be paid for his actions, but let him live through another day, because we are the only family Tigers, LSU Nation, that he truly know and have and love. So let's figure out a way to work with Derrius. Let's reach out to Derrius and uplift him at this time of his great need. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of this. And let's go Tigers. Thank you.